had my first daughter, Juliet, when I was 17. And like most first-time parents, I went a little photo crazy. The smallest thing, snuggling in a blanket, sleeping in a loved one's arms, the hint of a smile, or so I told myself, were all moments worthy of capturing forever with my point-and-shoot film camera. Several months later, when I finally had the time and the money to get the film physically processed at the store, the photos were shit. They were blurry, underexposed, and completely failed to capture the moment of when they were taken. It was heartbreaking to know that I couldn't go back in time and capture those images again. They were magical, and they were gone, now only existing in my memory. And so, at 17, I decided I needed to learn how to take a better photograph. And to truly do justice to the journey that Juliet and I were setting out on, I promised myself and I promised her that I would master the art, craft, and science of photography. When Juliet was 6 months old, my mum gifted me my first digital camera, and my self-taught education into photography truly began. I experimented with every knob, button, and dial: shutter speed, ISO, white balance, aperture, and you can never underestimate the knowledge you can gain from a YouTube tutorial. I took a lot of photos. The camera was always close in reach, and I soon became known at parties, family events, and music festivals as that chick with the camera. Travel was a huge part of our life. Despite coming from a small country town, from a family with a modest income, my mother saved every year from the age of when I was 9 to take my sister and I on exciting travels. With each new town, new country, and new adventure, the love of travel was infused. And I continued this legacy when Juliet was 3, when we first went to London. The adventure soon continued when her younger sister Iggy came along. I started to blog and share about the journey that we were on, and I finally felt the photos I was taking were doing our journey justice. Then one day, someone who'd been following me on my Facebook and Tumblr asked if I'd make their family portrait in the same way that I took my own: quirky, heartfelt, and far from this classic studio style. I didn't think this was right because I had no formal qualification. It was needed to be done by someone who had the pieces of paper to their name. When I was asked to shoot my first wedding, I was very reluctant. I shot my first wedding. I loved it, and thankfully so did the couple. I've now shot over 650 family sessions and 150 weddings in countless towns across Australia and over a dozen countries around the world. I definitely have taken more than 10,000 hours worth of photos, but I've also spent hours and hours of time studying, being inspired in other ways, and continually trying to push myself. Formal qualifications can be needed sometimes, like I'm not lining up to see a self-taught surgeon anytime soon. But there are so many other ways that you can take your passion and make it your own.